Hello and welcome back to my garden. So over the weekend, I came out here to the vegetable garden and I started putting down or spreading a little bit more sand on the new pathway here in front of the greenhouse. And then I got to looking at some of these stones and I thought, well, I could just take the stones that I moved for the new pathway and basically put them back, or just do a little rearranging. Little rearranging didn't quite work out. I wound up shifting and moving pretty much all of these stones. I could probably count on one hand the stones I didn't move, but a lot of these other stones I did move. And I'm pretty happy with the arrangement and the layout right now. I don't know if it's going to be in shot or if I'll show it in a video here in a second, but I have the pathway here flared out to either gate, and this way it's more of a natural walking path as I go to either the left or the right here out of the greenhouse. Overall, I'm pretty happy and satisfied with the project. There's still a little bit of work to do. I still have to do a little more sweeping of sand into the pavers here. And right here in front of these stones here, I have to put down some more compost in between the stones to A, help them lock into place, and B, to sort of backfill. I dug out more grass, unfortunately for me, to get some of these stones relayed, but in the end I got all the stones relayed, and as I said, I just have to do a little backfilling. Everything's still a little damp today. We had rain over the weekend, not much. I think over the past week we've just gotten just over a half an inch, but there were a lot of days that were just very damp, very drizzly, and just blech. Today though, you can see the sun is shining. Also on Saturday, in the afternoon, I then went into the greenhouse here and I started to sow some more seeds. And if you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting up pictures of some of the seeds that I previously planted, and they're starting to come up, which is really nice. If I remember, I'll try to post them up on the YouTube community page, or what was the community page. Now it's just the posts page. YouTube keeps changing things, but if you're not aware, you can go over to YouTube, you can go over to my channel on YouTube, and up top, right underneath the banner there, you should see a bunch of different tabs, one of them being posts, so you could check that out. And over there I try to post up behind the scenes, try to post up some facts and polls and quizzes, other interesting items like that, all gardening related. It's just something a little different than what's here on the channel. So the question you might be asking yourself is, what seeds did I sow? All right, first up, I have Carolina lupine. Now I tried direct sowing this last year, but it didn't work out so well. So this year I'm trying direct sowing again, but I'm also trying to grow this into pots. So we'll see how that turns out. I planted a bunch of different Agastaches. I have Heather Queen, Apache Sunset, Golden Jubilee, and one that has grown successfully here in this garden, and I think I have it in a couple of spots, Licorice White. Oh, and also Giant Hyssop. I tried growing Giant Hyssop, I think a few years ago, but unfortunately didn't take off, didn't work, don't know. But I still had some seeds in the packet, so I'm giving it another whirl. The next up is Sweet William. I'm growing actually a couple of different varieties. One is Hellborn Glory, looks pretty, and the other one is Newport Pink. Now I did have some Sweet William survive my seed growing process, and I did plant them out in the garden, I believe in a couple of spots last year. They didn't do too much, they didn't do too well, but I think that's partially because it was so dry out. Now some of them did survive until the winter, so maybe they'll bounce back up. Although we've had, I mean, this says here on the packet it's a biennial. So maybe they'll pop back up this year and they'll flower. I don't know. It'll be really interesting and fun to see. We'll have to wait for the springtime to see what happens there. Next up, two different varieties of Gomphrena. Gomphrena was one of those flowers I wanted to grow this year, and one of them is Lavender Lady, and the other one is Globoso Mix. Words are hard. Next is a flower I've grown a couple of times before, I believe, and it's Balsam. Last year didn't do so great. The year before it was good in certain areas. I've done direct sowing of this before, but this year I thought, again, I only had a few seeds left in the packet. Let me try growing in pots, and then I'll plant them out after the last frost. And that's it. That's all the seeds I had sown this time around. If you've been following the channel for a while, or if you haven't been following the channel, you can go back and watch some of the other videos, but I've already planted a bunch of other seeds. I've got rosemary planted, dahlias, coneflowers. There's a bunch of stuff I've already sowed. So the greenhouse is starting to fill up, which is a good thing. What's going to be a challenge, of course, is the next step of all the seed sowing, which will be probably in another 3 to 4 weeks, depending upon how fast some of these seeds in there grow, and that'll be potting up. So I'll be taking them out of their trays and then putting them into pots to let them grow on. And then probably in another month and a half or so, I'll be planting them out into the garden, all around the garden. If all goes well, if I'm really lucky this year, I will be doing a lot of planting because I'm going to have a lot of flowers as well as vegetables and herbs and whatnot. But you're gonna have to follow along to see what happens there. And there are a bunch of new subscribers out there. So once again, thank you very much. Please feel free to share my videos. If you like the videos, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the whole algorithm. And also watch the whole video because that also helps the algorithm. And one more thing before I go today. These citrus trees will be going into the greenhouse once again because although the past couple of weeks we've been relatively warm and the temperature has not dropped below freezing, we are looking at freezing temperatures this upcoming, I think starting tonight possibly, and through the rest of the week. So all my citrus trees will be going back into the greenhouse, which is going to make life for me a little tricky so far as my seeds and what I'm growing in there. But I will make do, and before you know it, the warm weather will be here and these citrus trees can come back out again. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click that bell icon to be notified when I do post a new video. Sophie here would be very much appreciated. Yes, you would. If you guys have any questions, comments, etc., please leave them below. And with all that being said, I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.